Welcome back to the Film Club. In today's video, we will be continuing with this month's theme of movies that are set in one location. Stories of confined characters, stuck in a tense situation, trying to escape or solve a mystery. If you wish to watch our video essay on the subject, you can click right here. Now enjoy our spoiler-free unranked list of 10 movies we recommend you should watch, mixed in with some of your own selections. And this video is kindly sponsored by Surfshark, but more on that midway.
Can I ask who's calling?
Ivan Locke.
Can I say what it's regarding?
Yes, concrete. Can you tell him that it's urgent? Can you tell him to call me back?
We begin today's list with one of the movies featured in our Creative Limits essay, Locke. Ivan Locke is a very careful and successful construction manager. Everything we know from his life, we learn through a series of phone calls he makes during his drive. Following someone along in a car for an hour and a half while they talk to their boss or their family isn't normally riveting, but in this case, it is. We as an audience are isolated along with the protagonist, trying to figure out where Locke is driving to, why he's making these calls, and why his life is falling apart.
And now I have none of those things. I have none of those things left. I just have myself and the car that I'm in.
Once again, Tom Hardy finds a way to work within the limits he's given and convey an emotional performance. For our next pick, we will be multiplying the on-screen main cast by 3, Ex Machina. Caleb is a programmer that has just won a contest where the prize is spending 1 week at his company CEO's private estate. Once there, he learns that the goal of his stay will be to perform a Turing test on Ava, a synthetic being, to determine the authenticity of her artificial intelligence.
What would you like to have a conversation about?
Why don't we start with you telling me something about yourself?
What would you like to know?
What follows is an intriguing tale about free will, evolution, survival, and the nature of humanity. While not his most ambitious project, this is definitely Alex Garland's more focused and grounded one. It feels like something out of a Twilight Zone episode.
That happened to my phone tonight, and I was just holding mine in my hand. Exact same thing.
Shattered?
No. Yeah. This is what they're talking about on the news.
In Coherence, a group of 8 friends gets together for a dinner party on the same night that a comet is passing overhead. There are a few little strange occurrences throughout, but the weird factor shoots up once there's a blackout in the neighborhood and only one house still has lights on. The group exits to figure out why that one house has electricity, and also to see if they have a cell signal. What they discover challenges their view of reality.
These are pictures of all of us.
This is an original film that plays with mystery, suspense, some elements of cosmic horror, and some drama within the friend circle, all with a very subdued approach. An easy watch that doesn't get too bogged down by the anomaly's explanations.
Hello?
Staying within the realm of sci-fi, our next pick takes us onto a lunar base, Moon. Sam Bell is an astronaut that's reaching the end of his 3-year contract aboard a mining station on the moon. His only co-worker is Gertie, a robot that helps and looks out for him. One day, Sam is distracted and he gets into an accident.
Danger. Atmospheric compromise.
Which starts a chain of events that reveals hidden aspects of the lunar facility that were never meant to be discovered. I'm being purposely vague because I don't want to give anything away. Although the film's low budget is noticeable at times, what drives it is the acting and directing. The movie has a slow build and is accentuated by Sam Rockwell's nuanced performance.
You're leaving me. Is that it? You're abandoning me.
Dad.
The next film on our list contains an Oscar-winning performance by Sir Anthony Hopkins, The Father. Whenever a film tackles dementia, we usually see its effects from the family's point of view. In this case, we see it from the afflicted person's perspective. We follow Anthony's daily life as he deals with his daughter, her husband, and the new caregiver. Since his mind is muddled, so is everything that happens around Anthony. His surroundings, including his family, change, adding to his confusion and to ours.
But he was here just now.
I think you're mistaken, Dad. There's no one here.
He's vanished.
It's an original take on a subject that might hit close to home for those who've lived with someone who's had dementia. The film is shot a bit like a horror movie, which is appropriate since it is quite scary to feel that you're losing your grip on reality. Before we go on, as a Canadian wanting to watch US movies, I'm sometimes locked out of some content, And if you wonder how we get around that, then you might be interested in getting a VPN, like the one we use from Surfshark. Not only does it give you access to a lot of geologged content, but most importantly, it protects your information by encrypting all the data that you send through the internet and where you are connecting from. And adding to that peace of mind, even they don't log your information. There are a lot of VPNs out there, but we prefer using Surfshark because it's one of the fastest, well-reviewed, affordable, and offers a slew of features. Not only does it work across all platforms, but you're not limited to the number of devices you can install it on. Use Surfshark Alert. That lets you know if your information appears in a leaked database, or Surfshark Search to prevent ads or trackers to follow your searches. I definitely recommend you check it out on your own by going to surfshark.deals/screened. If you use our promo code SCREENED, you will get 83% off the regular price, which means that for something like a couple of bucks a month, you can be fully protected. Plus, you'll get 3 months for free. Surfshark offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, so if you try it and you don't like it, you can simply cancel your subscription and get your money back. And now we return to the list.
Guilty. Guilty. Not guilty.
Sticking with realism, our next pick is one of the all-time greats, 12 Angry Men. This film is a perfect example of not needing action set pieces, changes of scenery, or dynamic camera movements to make a film exciting. You wouldn't think so from reading the synopsis, but this movie doesn't let up. The film begins with a titular 12-man jury being led to where they will discuss the details of a murder case and render their verdict. And that's pretty much it. That room is where we are for the remaining hour and a half. What makes this film engaging is how the dialogue drives the plot.
You're talking about a matter of seconds. Nobody can be that accurate.
Well, I think testimony that could put a boy into the electric chair should be that accurate.
The different character interactions, arguments, counter-arguments, all highlighted by the long shots and real-time aspect that gives us the impression of being in the same room, sweating buckets just like the characters, looking for the truth despite themselves. The next film on our list is another classic from the 50s whose premise has been parodied to death on many shows, Rear Window. Jeff is a professional photographer that has recently broken his leg and so is confined to a wheelchair in his apartment. Since there isn't much for him to do, he spends his time spying on his neighbors across the street. One night, he notices that one of them has been acting very strangely. He's been going out many times on the same night and his wife is nowhere to be seen. This pushes Jeff to try and investigate what's going on.
And mysterious trips at night, knives and saws and ropes, and now since last evening, not a sign of the wife.
This is a very enjoyable movie to watch, even if you already have an idea of what's going to happen. Each character has their own specific trait, including the neighbors. Alfred Hitchcock's trademark suspense is lightened by a surprising amount of humor and clever banter.
There's been an attack. A big one. I'm not sure yet if it's chemical or nuclear. But down here, we're safe.
10 Cloverfield Lane was a pleasant surprise from start to finish. I remember that nothing was known about the movie, even when the trailer was released a mere 2 months before opening night. Without giving much away, the story is about Michelle. She gets into a car accident and wakes up in a bunker with 2 other people. There she learns that there's been an attack, and that they're safe as long as they stay underground.
How long do we have to wait until it's safe?
Depends on proximity to the closest blast, 1 year, maybe 2.
Michelle has her doubts about what she's being told, and whether or not her host's intentions are noble. She wonders if she wouldn't be better off risking it outside. Just as the protagonist is unsure, we also are kept guessing and trying to figure out if anyone is lying about the outside world. On top of the mystery, there's an ever-present tension, even in the quiet and harmless moments. John Goodman's performance really sells the suspense and makes you care for the other character's safety.
The whole idea of meeting him made me very nervous. I mean, I really wasn't up for that sort of thing. I had problems of my own. I mean, I couldn't help Andre.
Have you ever had to have dinner with an old acquaintance that you've been dreading to talk to? You haven't seen them in a long time, but you've heard certain troubling things about them, and so you're not really looking forward to seeing them. That's pretty much the setup for our following pick. In My Dinner with Andre, Wally is a playwright that is meeting up at a restaurant with Andre, a theater director. Once there, Andre shares his past experiences with Wally.
You look terrific.
Wow, I feel terrible.
For many, this movie might feel boring. It's just a conversation between 2 people, one of which has long-winded monologues. What makes it interesting are the themes a conversation touches upon: life, existentialism, surrealism, and the different ways that we view the world. It's like one of those conversations you have with a friend where you end up talking about everything and forget the world around you. By the end, you will be left wondering about your own human experience. Before we continue to our last selection on our list, here are just a few of the many recommendations from the film club. Caveat on Shudder was a near-perfect one-location horror that dropped last month, and it deserves way more attention. Tape is a very good one-location, three-character film with Uma Thurman. I remember being slowly enthralled by it. Woman in the Dunes, claustrophobic, confined, psychological nightmare, allegory for emotional conditioning, questions our self-determination and control. Trey Edward Schultz's Krisha is not only a one-location movie, it's a stunning debut film that takes a fractious, tense family, drops a human bombshell into the middle of them, and then spends 80 minutes dragging us through the war zone it's created. It's stressful, anxiety-inducing, and emotionally devastating. One of the most underrated movies of the 2010s by far. The next two were recommended by several viewers. As a Dane, I've got to go with The Guilty. The way they use the conversations on the phone expands the world of the story far beyond the actual location of the film, and the final shot nearly ties the controlled space of the film together. I would recommend The Man from Earth. It's about a college professor that is moving, and his colleagues gather in his house for one last goodbye. So he starts an intriguing and revealing conversation about his past. Despite the low-budget visuals and other small problems, it manages to keep you hooked with its deep philosophical discussions on themes like religion, history, and human perception. It's impressive the way that almost every character has something to add to the conversations based on their field of knowledge and beliefs. It's incredibly well written and will surely leave a lot for you to think. When it comes to The Thing, we're confined to a small base in one of the most remote locations in the world. The only outside interaction in the movie comes from a Norwegian helicopter, which also acts as our first sign that something is wrong. Soon the movie becomes confined to the tight corridors of the Arctic base, and our cast is trapped with a creature that they've never encountered, and one that can, for a time, disguise itself as damn near anything. Much of the drama comes from the scenes of men arguing about trust, shadows of the Cold War very much looming over this one. Who is the thing going to take over next? Or what? And last but definitely not least, a film that is very much the antithesis of most of the other picks on the list. The story is confined to an apartment complex, but it's not light on the action. The Raid. I'm not going to go into too much detail, so as not to spoil the various twists and turns, so here goes. A SWAT team infiltrates an apartment building that is run by a crime lord. The goal is to bring down the boss, but things don't go as smoothly as planned. This is an exciting, action-packed movie that does live up to the hype. The moments of tension are spread out, between well-choreographed, bone-crunching, elaborate, and skillfully shot fight scenes that will leave you on the edge of your seat. A real adrenaline rush. And that's the end of our one-location movie theme. Do you have any other one-location movie recommendations? Then don't be shy and share them with us in the comments. Make sure to stay notified for all of our future videos. Leave a like, share with a friend, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. See you next time at the Film Club.